Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly cyber threat intelligence briefing. Today is October 9th, which is a National Moldy Cheese Day. I usually go by, big things that happen today. I know it's Columbus Day, but moldy cheese is kind of a cool thing. I do like cheese. So for all those cheesemongers out there, let's taste some of the cat's fur or fuzzy mold on the wheel of fresh brie. Brie's my favorite, so I had to mention that. So in today's briefing, we'll be covering the most recent trends that our threat intelligence team is witnessing in the trenches. My name is Keith Wojcicki, Global Head of Threat Intelligence for Kroll. This week we are joined by Senior Vice President George Glass, Vice President Dave Truman, Vice President Sarah Becker, and Analyst Avery Hellwig from our Cyber Threat Intelligence team. So let's talk news you can use for October 9th, 2023. Kroll has seen exploitation of the WSFTP vulnerability. This is CVE 2023-40444. Kroll observed the w3wp.exe spawning from the command exe insert util exe to fetch additional payloads. That's number one. Number two, the open source tool curl is due to release an update on October 11th. This is to fix two vulnerabilities, CVE 2023-38545 and CVE 2023-38546. It is understood that the CVE 38545 is likely going to rate as a high severity, so keep your eye out for that, as more information will become available on October 11th. We do recommend that organizations take an inventory of their systems that use curl, and in order to patch these for your systems. Something that's really interesting that came up is that the FBI has released to private industry notification detailing a trend in dual ransomware attacks, where an organization is targeted by a ransomware group, then quickly followed up by another attack conducted by a separate ransomware group. Now, we are monitoring and investigating this further, and we will put further updates out. A wave of phishing targeting executives across many sectors has been detected, leveraging the Evil Proxy phishing tool and open redirects in the Indeed platform. C-suite and other executives have been targeted with this credential stealer, and it's actually capturing MFA. This includes authenticators. So just an FYI. I know phishing is not new, especially going towards executives, but this is something that's completely interesting when it comes to the MFA capture. So let's get into what we're going to cover today in detail. First, we'll talk about, George will be diving into Bruce Wayne's neighborhood a little bit and talk about GOTHAMSTEALER. Then we'll talk about Cloudflare bypass. Now, if George does make it safely out of Gotham, he will address BUNNYLOADER. And then we're going to have Avery talk about Microsoft Teams WebP patches. And then Sarah's going to talk about the Lost Trust ransomware and the Ransomware Roundup. Over to you, George.
Thank you very much, Keith. I did think about doing this entire thing in a Batman voice, but I did decide against it. So GOTHAMSTEALER, it's a new malware as a service currently being offered on the underground market, and it's essentially a rework of the open source Pirate Stealer, developed by the same actors, but this time they're selling it instead of providing it for free. It's provided with a panel for capturing logs, building payloads, and even a chat support function as well. What we've seen when we've looked into this and read some underground forums is this particular malware is targeting the Beamer community. For those that are unaware, the Beamer community is typically a younger target base, and essentially beaming someone's account is to take over their account, and that is typically related to something like a Discord account or even a video game account. And to this end, GOTHAMSTEALER has modules for gaming, including Roblox, Minecraft, Steam, etc., and also the capability to target cryptocurrency wallets and, of course, Discord account tokens. As I say, forum and Telegram chats suggest that the campaign is targeted at a younger user base, and it appears to be operated by a lower skilled actor base as well. A lot of those forum and Telegram chats are essentially just people asking how best to deploy the tool, how to target people, and how to spread it, with a lot of answers coming back relating to SEO poisoning and malvertising. We assess that the impact most likely felt is going to be for the home network compromise, shared home computers, those sorts of things, where maybe younger people in the household do not have the same sort of level of cybersecurity training as others. And of course, the risk there is using corporate credentials on a home device, or cross-contamination via USB stick, and so on. As you can see in the picture at the bottom of the screen there, the PC name Sabo, that is the developer of the tool, and there's a good screenshot there from Falcon Feeds showing some of the capability of the tool, the capability to download files that it's stolen, remote login, and so on and so forth. So one to certainly keep an eye on. We're fairly confident of our detection capability for this new stealer, and yeah, we'll continue to monitor it. But for now, I'll pass back to Keith.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. Careful there in Gotham. We're going to go over to Cloudflare bypass with Dave.
Thank you. Researchers at Certitude Consulting claim to have bypassed Cloud's WAF and DDoS protections. The technique takes advantage of an inappropriate level of trust placed upon other Cloudflare users. Using Cloudflare's certificates, rather than setting up your own custom certificates for reverse proxy authentication and fully trusting the IP allow list provided by Cloudflare for configuring one's host-based firewall, can lead to another user of Cloudflare being able to send malicious traffic to a victim server. This is achieved by the malicious actor setting up a domain on Cloudflare with perfections turned off, and then pointing this domain at the victim's server IP. It is recommended to look into the configuration of any Cloudflare environment, specifically with regards to allow list IPs and client authentication certificates. It is also recommended that validating the real IP of any server that sits behind Cloudflare is not easily guessable or in historic DNS records associated with this domain. Thank you, Keith.
Thanks, Dave. Thankfully, George has escaped from the lopsided conversation with Harvey Dent and has traveled over to Easter Island to share some intelligence with us on BUNNYLOADER. George?
Thanks, Keith. Yeah, another new malware as a service offering has appeared on darknet markets over the last month or so. This new malware as a service, BUNNYLOADER, is under rapid development. We've seen it go from version 1.0 on September 4th to 2.0 as of last week. So lots of rapid development there. Probably trying to plug some of the gaps in the market for loader malware since the takedown of the Quackbot botnet. As with GOTHAMSTEALER, it comes with access to a control panel, and it features quite a surprising amount of capabilities considering how new this is. Of course, it's a loader, which allows a successful infection to download and execute other malicious files. It also has the capability to perform fileless execution through process hollowing. Of course, it's got the typical stealer functionality that you'd sort of expect of any of these, the capability to read things from the clipboard as well. Most of these appear to be going after browser credentials and cryptocurrency wallets and so forth. It can also act as a SOX proxy, something that we do see operated by ransomware actors fairly often. Of course, remote command execution as a remote shell, and it also features some anti-analysis capability as well. It's got some sandbox detection and evasion techniques built into it, although fairly rudimentary in these earlier versions. Finally, it maintains persistence through Windows registry. We're fairly confident of our ability to detect and respond to BUNNYLOADER, but we'll nevertheless keep an eye on it. It's under, as I say, very active development right now, so we shall keep a very close eye on this particular threat. And that's it for me today. Back to you, Keith.
Thanks, George. We're going to go to Avery to talk about Microsoft Teams WebP patches. Oh, Avery there? All right, she may be having some technical difficulties. Let's forward on to Sarah for the ransomware roundup.
Thanks, Keith. So Lost Trust ransomware has been creating a lot of recent chatter within the cybersecurity community and researchers, with the group being believed to have been a rebrand of a past group called Meta Encryptor. Lost Trust began their operations and attacks, it's believed to be around March 2023. But they didn't become known until recent just because they have created a new data leak site and it currently lists 53 victims. So with everyone saying that Lost Trust is a possible rebrand of Meta Encryptor started their operations in August of 2022. They were claiming 12 victims on their data leak site, and that was through July 2023. Since July 2023, there has been no new victims added, which is further having researchers and other people within the cybersecurity community believe that this rebranding theory is possibly true. So Lost Trust created their data leak site, and it pretty much mirrors the exact same template as Meta Encryptor's site. It's even down to the biography is pretty much the same. So both the sites state in their biography description, we are a group of young people who identify themselves as specialists in the field of network security with at least 15 years experience. Researchers identified that both Lost Trust and Meta Encryptor also almost have identical encryptors. So there are some minor changes within it, and that would be within the embedded public keys, ransom notes, encrypted file extensions, and the ransom note names. Also to note, both ransomware groups are also based on the SFIL2 ransomware encryptor. So after researchers obtained a new sample of Lost Trust encryptor, they performed an analysis of the encryptor, and they determined that once that ransom note is viewed, it obviously contains information regarding like what they have for the victim company's files. The ransom note also provides a unique URL to Lost Trust Tor negotiation site. The display of the negotiation site is very, very minimal, and it's only displaying a chat box right now, and that's where negotiations are being handled. It's currently not known if paying the ransom results in the victim's company's data to be deleted or if they're going to actually receive a working decryptor. That's all for me, Keith.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. And a big thank you to everybody that's taken the time to tune in to Kroll's weekly threat intelligence briefing. This is our 20th briefing, a milestone for us. So we do appreciate your support and hope you found this session informative. Please come back next week and we'll discuss our new trends. Enjoy the rest of your day and make sure you tune in to next week. Take care.